Hey everybody! Today in the studio brewing with us is David Green, and David has brought a recipe that we're going to brew today. So David, tell us about the recipe.
Absolutely. So this is a recipe that I've been tweaking and I've been adjusting. I probably brewed this about 7 or 8 times. It's a pale ale, and I like to add the hops towards the end of the boil so that I'm getting a lot of flavour from the hops without it being too bitter. So it's a nice sessionable beer that's very easy drinking, nice and flavourful, nothing too dark, sort of nice for these sort of summer days.
There's a lot of different grains in it.
Yes, there's quite a few different grains. Each one brings a little bit of something different. I got the Maris otter, which gives a nice sort of breadiness. Being English, I tend to always lean towards the Maris otters and things like that. There's the two-row, which gives you just the nice plain base malt that a lot of the beers use mainly. I would normally use a carafoam, which would give nice head retention, but when I was actually brewing this originally, I didn't actually have any, and the brew shops were closed at the time. So a nice substitute for it actually is a wheat malt, which people can use a small amount of wheat malt. It doesn't really adjust the flavour too much, but you still get that nice head retention. There's some crystal malts in there, gives it a nice little nuttiness, a little bit of colour. So yeah, it should be should be good.
So you don't have to follow the recipe dogma.
No, not really.
Yeah. and can we show people the recipe?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm more than happy to.
So
to share
the
that,
recipe will be under the video, beside the video, somewhere around the video, depending on where you're watching it.
Yep.
So we've got the strike water coming up to temperature. I think we're about
I just think it just clicked.
about 148 right now.
148.
Nice.
So let's get all of the grains weighed out and
Absolutely.
and ground.
Perfect. Sounds
Fantastic.
good.
So we have reached temperature.
Yep.
David, you want to do some water additions?
Yep, absolutely. Yep, we're going to add some lactic acid. We've done the calculations to use the lactic acid. We're going to lower the pH, so we're going to actually use it to get within the pH range that we're looking for, and we want to. If the pH range, ideally we're looking to be between sort of 5.2, 5.6. With the additions we're actually putting in, we're going to get a 5.3. Okay. And having it within that range is going to make it nice and palatable. It's also going to help us extract as much sugar as we can out of the actual grain itself. We have some gypsum, which is used when you've got softer water. We add a little bit of gypsum. It's going to harden the water slightly to give us a better profile. And we also have some epsom salts in there, which will give us a little bit more of a crisp sort of flavour profile to the beer.
Are we trying to emulate a specific type of water, or these are just things that you found help this beer?
These are things that I was looking at an American style water, but as I've brewed it a few times, I've tweaked and adjusted a little bit to actually get a little bit more out of it and to my own palate.
So this is your water?
This is my water.
This is David's water. Okay, so get that stuff in there, and I will adjust the temperature we'll and you want to mash it 154,
Perfect,
right?
Thank you. Yep, 154 is ideal. 152 would give us a slightly thinner beer, which would have more fermentable sugars in it. 156 would make the beer a little bit more sort of full-bodied. There would be more sort of longer chain sugars in there, which aren't quite so fermentable. And 154 is a nice balance between the two. So we've got enough body there, but it's going to be crisp enough and flavourful enough to drink all the time. So,
Let's get the grain in.
Let's get the grain in. Beautiful. We give that a couple more stirs up during the mash, but we'll 20 minutes or so before we actually want to finish the mash, we'll stop stirring, and then it allows the grain bed to kind of rest down and compact down.
Great, and then we can just whirl off through the bottom
Absolutely.
valve. Cool.
Perfect.
So we're
Got some time then.
Lovely.
temperature's holding. Let's got an hour. Or
Perfect. 152. There it
minutes.
is. So it will drop. There we are.
153.
153.
So
Up
we're
she
gonna
comes. Perfect.
it'll be at 154 through the whole thing.
That's great. That is
Excellent.
great. It's going to be a good brew.